Welcome to the 2020 Bram Stoker Award ceremony, presented by the Horror Writers Association to recognize superior achievement in works of horror and dark literature.
Welcome to StokerCon 2021. I'm so excited we've been able to bring such a jam-packed online convention to you. We've all been through so much over the past year. It's great having a way for us all to gather and spend time with one another. The team behind this event, led by Jim Chambers and Brian Matthews, have done a Herculean job of pulling this together. We all owe them a huge debt of gratitude. And speaking of volunteers, I'd like to talk a little bit about how many new volunteers have been stepping up our new and ever-growing organization. In many cases, where we once had one person, we now have teams of people. This growth also reflects the changing culture of the HWA. We have so many new faces with many different backgrounds bringing so much experience, wisdom, and heart and soul to the organization. We truly are becoming your HWA, and it's been breathtaking to experience. Steering the great ship HWA has been my absolute pleasure, even during the sometimes rough waters. And any experienced captain will tell you they're really only as good as their crew. We have an amazing team who head up so many of our departments. Our reach is growing worldwide. I'd like to welcome new chapters in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Kentucky, Colorado, Ireland, and India, and more. A special request from all of us to our friends in India who are still battling the awful COVID-19 surge. We're with you and we can't wait for that to pass and for normal life to resume. Be safe. I'd also like to thank Josh Viola at Hex Publishing who put together an absolutely stunning souvenir book. Not only that, but the artwork is just off the hook. Go Lucifer. The HWA's team of officers are each doing an amazing job of running the ship. Our board of trustees, Ellen Datlow, Marge Simon, Becky Sprafford, James Chambers, Les Klinger, Jonathan Mayberry, Meghan Narkiri, look out for our members on a daily basis. They also help a very passionate president keep grounded, which is a very good thing. Meghan has been instrumental in so many areas for the HWA that I'd be here for an hour listening how much she does. Nowhere is this more apparent than with the Quick Bites mailer. Thank you, Meghan. You've averted many would-be disasters and have led the HWA with your amazing mix of empathy, wisdom, strength, and a very dark sense of humor. Thank you. We're really excited that the world seems to be opening up and that planet Earth is emerging from this truly horrifying pandemic. I hope StokerCon will be a place of inspiration for you, a place of healing, a place of hope. And we're all going to finally be able to meet again in person next year when we hold StokerCon at the Curtis Hotel in beautiful downtown Denver, Colorado. Stay tuned at the end of StokerCon for some truly exciting announcements. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, and have an amazing convention.
Hi, folks. I'm Jonathan Mayberry. I'm a member of the board and also a past Stoker winner, and I'm here to give a brief keynote speech. Last time I gave a keynote speech for Stokers was live. We were all in one place, all happy and safe. Nobody was wearing masks, and the world was a different world back then. And now a lot has changed. We've actually spent the last year and a half living through one of our own novels. You know, something weird happened. It got worse. It got complex, and it affected every single person. It affected not only, our ability to have a conference live, but just our faith that the world was actually going to be there at the end of this, which it is. Sadly, there were a few of us than there were. A lot of us lost friends during this and had friends deal with COVID. But the thing that I found most interesting during this process, during this year and a half, is the fact that the horror writers community, a group that, for those who are not in it, who are those just watching this on YouTube, that community would you would think that people who write horror for a living would groove in, with all the horror that's going on in the world, with the damaged race relationships, the attacks on LGBTQT, the plague itself, political polarization, all of that's scary stuff. And, people think that, that you guys are probably cool with that. Actually, no. And during that whole time, what I found and what delights me is that at no point, even during the most isolated moments of social isolation, did we actually just leave each other. Luckily, we live in an age when there are so many ways to communicate. We're speaking live now from different places. All the presenters who are presenting tonight are in different places. All of you listening are in different places. So we have that technology. We have social media to stay in touch. But not everyone actually bothered staying in touch in a lot of areas, but the horror community did. Most of us came to this genre from a kind of a twisted path anyway. A lot of us had damage, in childhood, or other things have happened, and we got into writing horror not just because we love the form, but because it's so revelatory, so cathartic to write it. A lot of our stuff is autobiographical. It draws upon the things we have seen that have frightened us. And in writing horror, we can do something with what's around us that most people can't. We can give it a third act. We can give it closure. We write stories where bad things happen, and people, have to deal with it. They're caught in the path of disasters of one kind or another, either natural or supernatural, and they try to rise to it. They deal with it. And our community did that too, because people reached out to one another through this whole thing. They stayed in touch. I've heard from a lot of folks about this, where they'll set up like watch parties, like with Army of the Dead, the new zombie film that came out yesterday. Half the people I know were setting up watch parties to watch it together, even though they were in different parts of the country or different parts of the world. They were horror nerds, and they were sitting there watching a new zombie flick, texting each other as they did it. I was doing the same thing. That sort of thing shows that there's a love in the community and a real connection within the community that isn't just there because we all like monsters. It's there because we are the people who really appreciate what it means to be able to come through something, to learn from that thing, to grow, in fact, from that thing, and to be able to share our experiences. We can be confessional. We can talk about what scares us, what has terrified us, the losses we felt, whether it be the COVID era or before. We can share those stories without fear that the other person we're talking to within our community is going to think it's too heavy. Well, it's not too heavy for the horror community. Nothing is too dark for us to talk about. And in fact, we can have those conversations more freely, knowing that we can reach out to our brothers and sisters within this community and say, hey, this is troubling me, or ask, how are you doing? What's going on with you? I've heard, you haven't been on social media. What's going on? Those things happened. The horror community stayed together. Now, I'm a writer who writes in a lot of different genres, and I've seen, and I know for a fact that some of the communities really did go into isolation. They, since there was no live event, they kind of just shut up and went away. But we didn't do that. And I find that endlessly fascinating. It's one of the best of many good defenses of the genre, or explanations of the genre, that we get it. We understand what it means to be alone in the dark. We understand what it means to be isolated and afraid. We understand what it means to feel lost, to feel fear, because that is what we explore in our fiction. A lot of people who don't understand horror think that, we're in horror because we love monsters, but that's not really the case. Most of us are in here because we love to read and write about the people who fight monsters, about the people who hold a candle to darkness. That's what this community does. In the light of what happened over the last year and a half, even though within our community there are political differences, there are ideological differences, there's still that sense of family and community, and that defines the Horror Writers Association, defines the horror community, makes me proud to be a part of this, certainly. And it validates, every reason that I got involved with the horror writers community in the first place. I've never in my life felt as welcome as I did there. I grew up in a pretty rough situation at home, pretty rough neighborhood. The horror community is even more than just the general writing community, made me feel at home. even when I was an absolute beginner here with no credits, no bestsellers, no Stokers, none of that crap, just me being, an interested player, wanting to be part of that family, there was no lag period for the horror writers to welcome me in that fast. Just as when new people come, we're excited to see new people. We don't react with that kind of hesitation. Oh, like somebody new is going to come in, they're going to take my spot, they're going to get the headlines or whatever, they're going to make the list that I'm not going to make. Yeah, but we don't care about that. We really don't. I mean, there may be times when somebody gets an award and we don't get one, and like, but that lasts 2 seconds. It's more about not winning than it is about somebody else winning. That's the thing. And then the congratulations that goes out isn't just rote. It's not just, oh, congratulations for winning. There is a sense of joy when people win these awards. There is a sense of joy that we can all celebrate one of our own who made good. And also to look at the list of nominees, and going back to the long form before we even got to the final ballot, that list of nominees, that list of recommended works, those give you an idea also of the depth and breadth of what horror means, because it's not just one thing. Anyone who doesn't understand horror has a prejudice because they think it's just one kind of fiction or just one kind of movie or just one kind of whatever, but it's not. It's deep, it's varied. We have all these artists bringing all these different voices to it. And during our time of isolation, those voices remained strong. They not only spoke out, they spoke to one another. And that's what makes us a strong organization. And that's why we are gathered tonight, virtually gathered tonight, to celebrate superior achievements. The winners, of course, but also the nominees and every other person who's put their heart and soul into writing something that, may be dark, but that darkness is whispering something important to us. And it gives us an opportunity of freedom to be able to tell truths, important truths, through our fiction. So I hope you guys enjoy our awards tonight. Hope you celebrate everyone like we do. And I can't wait to see who's going to win. No, I actually don't know yet. And I'm just so excited that each year there are more and more great works being celebrated, great works going out, and more and more people being drawn to the world of horror because they realize it's not only entertaining, it's a wonderful place to be. It's a wonderful community to be part of. And for those who are not part of the horror writers community who are watching this, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us tonight, and meeting some good people and celebrating some good stuff. Thank you very much. And we're going to move from here right straight into the nominations and the acceptances. So thank you all, and welcome to the world of horror.
Hi, I'm Linda Addison, multi-Bram Stoker winner and Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. And I'm here to tell you that the recipient for Superior Achievement in a Poetry Collection is Christina Singh, A Collection of Dreamscapes, Raw Dog Screaming Press.
Thank you so much for this tremendous honor and for including me in a category with these incredible luminaries. Alessandro, Jessica, Cynthia, Sarah, I'm in awe just to be in a category with you. I would like to share this award with my editor Stephanie and my publishers Jennifer and John. Thank you for your unwavering support and for helping me bring this dream to life. I'm truly, deeply grateful. To Stephen, thank you for your mesmerizingly beautiful cover, which perfectly epitomizes dreamscapes. There is this moment in time when you see a piece of art and know it is the one. This is the one. To Marge, Linda, Mike, Grace, Ken, Lee, Jean, Jason, and Dave, my dear friends and mentors, thank you for always believing in me and never giving up on me. To Dad, who left this world far too soon, thank you for loving me unconditionally and always being the hero in my stories. To my children, who inspire me every day and show me the meaning of hope and love, thank you for being my light bringers. A very special thanks to everyone who took the time to read my collection. You became a part of my story the moment you opened that first page. Thank you for journeying with me. Last but not least, thank you to my many friends and colleagues who have walked this poetic path with me these long years. All of you are the reason we are here today. I share this award with you. Thank you, and thank you again.
Hello, I'm Meghan Narkiri. I am a writer and the Vice President of the Horror Writers Association, and the recipient for Superior Achievement in Short Nonfiction is Tim Wagner, speaking of horror, in The Writer. Congratulations.
Thanks to everyone who voted for my article, and thanks to Nikki Porter, my editor at The Writer, who published the piece. When I was doing publicity for Writing in the Dark, I thought it would be a good idea to try to place articles about writing horror in various venues. Being published in The Writer was one of my bucket list items, so I queried the magazine. Nikki responded saying she wished she got more articles about writing horror. She was the one who came up with the idea of my writing an article about all the things I wish I'd known when I started out on my career as a horror writer, so it is absolutely no exaggeration to say this article would not have existed if it wasn't for her. And since I wrote the article to publicize Writing in the Dark, it also wouldn't have existed without John and Jennifer at Raw Dog Screaming Press, so thanks to them as well.
Hi, I'm Les Klinger, treasurer of the Horror Writers Association, and this year I was very proud to be the chair of the jury for the graphics novel category. The award this year goes to Nancy Holder, Chiara DeFrancia, Amelia Wu, Lori, I'm sorry, her name was in the titles, and a number of other people who are the letterers and colorists on this project. The book is Mary Shelley Presents Tales of Suspense by Chimera Press.
Thank you, HWA, for this honor. I am deeply touched and so pleased that the work of these women who might not have made it into the mainstream consciousness of horror writers and readers everywhere have been brought to light through the work of Mary Shelley. Thank you, Mary Shelley, so much for everything you brought to our genre. I am grateful to my soul for your work. I'd also like to thank the art teams at Chimera Press, my publisher, Amelia Wu, Chiara DiFrancia, Saida Temofonte, Lori Foster, and Kata Kane. I'd like to thank our publisher, Debbie Lynn Smith, her right-hand man, and graphic artist, Paul Dottie. I'm just can't even thank you enough. I'm very grateful, and thank you.
Hi. Oh. Hi, my name is Brian Matthews. I'm one of the co-chairs of StokerCon 2021. And the winner for Superior Achievement, or no, actually this is, we had a feed go out, sorry. The Specialty Press Award for,
Hello.
live.
Yes, I'm sorry. My power literally just went out, so this is great.
This is this.
Okay.
You good, Megan, or you want me to continue?
I'm good if you're okay.
No, go.
Thank you. I apologize. The HWA Specialty Press Award is presented periodically to a specialty publisher whose work has substantially contributed to the horror genre, whose publications display general excellence, and whose dealings with writers have been fair and exemplary. This year, the award goes to Crystal Lake Publishing with Joe Minor. Congratulations.
Hi, I'm J.G. Faraday, and I run the mentorship program for the HWA, and it is my pleasure to present the Mentor of the Year Award to Angela Elrico Smith. Not only is she a friend of mine, I've watched her career develop over the years and seen her grow from a fledgling writer to someone who is not only an extraordinary editor, but also dedicated to volunteering with the HWA in so many ways. She's been a mentor for a few years now, and her mentees have nothing but great things to say about her. A couple of examples. Angela went above and beyond the call of duty to show me the intricacies of writing. And another one. Angela is really an amazing mentor. She helped me polish my work, and she is really great at editing. She's been more than supportive. I found more than a mentor. I found a friend. And I can say the same thing. Angela, thank you for all you do for the HWA and the mentorship program. And let me be the first to congratulate you as the 2020 Mentor of the Year.
Hello. I have tried to do this video so many times, and I realized I was kind of freaking myself out because it was so formal feeling. And I'm not really known for being a very formal person. So I thought I'd come down here with Yogi, and then you can watch him and admire him instead of listening to me and looking at me. So, but I do want to say thank you. The hardest part of being a Mentor of the Year is doing the speech for Mentor of the Year on video. And I really look forward to when we are not on video anymore and we can be in person, because then we can't self-edit ourselves and hit stop every time we feel like we're rambling, which is now, but I'm going to go on. I think that the hardest part about saying this or doing this little speech is that I don't feel like I've given enough to the program that I'd like to give, and I think probably a lot of mentors feel like that, because mentorship program gives us so much. I think most of us probably started out as a mentee, and I know I did. Brian Theowara was my mentor, and Tim Wagner, and they were both absolutely crucial in my success in my career. And so I urge everybody to participate with the mentor program, either as a mentee, but especially as a mentor, because you may not think that you have something to offer, but you do. No matter what your specialty is or where you are with your expertise, you do have something to offer. Right, Yogi? I'm being very licky. Oh, but really, honestly, HWA is a culture of mentors. I mean, we have so many people every day walking through the hallways at Stoker Cons and being involved in different programs that are, I guess, unofficial mentors. You know, like Tim Wagner is one. I mean, he's also an official mentor because I just listed him as that. Jonathan Mayberry, Lee Murray, Linda D. Addison, Marge Simon. I can think of, a million more. I know I'm missing like a billion names, but I don't want to ramble, and I'm sure you are probably almost back from the bathroom right now or getting your snack. Yeah, I just want to say thank you. And, the important thing about the mentorship program is that you don't just take one writer and build them up. What you're building is a relationship. And the HWA is built upon these amazing, strong, cooperative, inclusive relationships. And that's what makes us so strong. So thank you to everybody. I will give a little plug for 3 new writers that I have recently been involved with. Some my mentees, others just unofficial friends. Like I said, that we are all mentoring everybody in the HWA. But specifically, if you're looking for fresh, young, I don't want to say young as in they're young, but fresh horror voices, Alina Makuka is one, Austin Gregg, and Maxwell Gold, all super excellent new writers that I've been working with lately. And just thank you, and have a good rest of your con. And next year we will be doing this in person. And if I have to give a speech for anything, I will not self-edit myself 50 times, like literally. You should see the outtakes. But thank you. And thank you, Yogi, for making this way more comfortable.
I'm Les Klinger. I'm really glad to be presenting this category because I'm a nonfiction writer myself. And one of the things that drew me to HWA was its welcoming attitude about us strange folks who don't have the talent, maybe, to write fiction, and so we stick to nonfiction. Our beloved former president, Rocky Wood, was a nonfiction writer, and he and I found everything so conducive to this category of writing. This year's award goes, oh, I'm sorry to say, it's so boring. It goes again to Tim Wagner for Writing in the Dark, Guide Dog Books, Raw Dog Screaming Press. Congratulations.
First off, thanks to everyone who voted for Writing in the Dark. Thanks to Jennifer Barnes and John Lawson at Raw Dog Screaming Press for having faith in the book and doing such a great job with it. Thanks to Tom Monteleone for writing a kick-ass introduction. I was talking with Tom at a con once, not long after he'd written The Complete Idiot's Guide to Writing a Novel. He'd asked if I'd ever written a book about writing. When I said I hadn't, he said, when you do, you'll find the most interesting thing is how much you learn from actually putting what you know about writing into words for someone else to read. As usual, he was right. Thanks so much to all the writers and editors who were kind enough to contribute short pieces of writing advice for the book. So many readers have commented how this wisdom was the part of they liked the most. And as always, extra special thanks to my agent, Cherry Wiener, my tireless champion in this too often crazy business. Thank you.
Hi, I'm back again. Still here, still the big furry guy who started this thing off. Anyway, I love this category. I'm a huge fan of young adult fiction. I've been writing in this for a while, won a couple Stokers for this. So I'm always interested in the list of young adult novels that come under the Stoker's eye. And it's my pleasure to announce that the winner for the Stoker Award for Superior Achievement in a Young Adult Novel, Adam Cesar, Clown in a Cornfield, Harper Teen. Congratulations. And that's a big win in a tough field this year. So fantastic.
Hello, HWA. If you are watching this video, thank you so much. And I am so honored to be even making this video, not knowing the outcome, but just to be included with these books and these authors I admire, not just in this category, but in the rest of the ballot. And even off the ballot, I think this has been one of the most incredible years. Personally, I'd like to thank my wife for dealing with someone writing a book called Clown in the Cornfield and getting really neurotic about it. I'd like to thank my parents who cue the chainsaws. It's real chainsaws right outside, who allowed me to explore this genre so thoroughly at such a young age and encouraging my morbid fixations and not shying away from them. Everyone in the community who's been so supportive, the Black T-shirt boys especially, specifically for this book, for Clown in the Cornfield. It would not exist without Peterson Harris and the rest of the team at Temple Hill, David Linker at HarperCollins, and the rest of the team at Harper Teen, Alex Shane, also for the book, Matt Ryan Tobin, his incredible cover art. I feel so honored to have that cover. And finally, really the person in this process that kind of changed my life the most, because I was such a fan from such a young age, and he's an absolute icon and he's an absolute idol to me, and he did me an incredible kindness blurbing this book, Clive Barker, who's just the master, just the best, and the fact that he was so generous with his time to read it and so generous with his words. So thank you so much, Mr. Barker. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, HWA. Know that when I'm watching this broadcast, if this video is playing, I'm doing like the Roberto Benigni. I'm up on this chair and dancing, and it's a roll chair too, so that's really dangerous.
Hi, I'm retired Stoker's MC, Jeff Strand. Normally, I would try to say something really funny here, but I also know that every word I say is angering you as you wait to hear the winner. So, the winner for Best First Novel is Evie Knight, The Fourth Horror.
Hello, friends and family. If you're seeing this video, it means I'm gone. And
No, we're not doing that one.
No?
No, you won.
I won the Stoker?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wow, thank you. I'm stunned and humbled and speechless. Nah, I'm not speechless. This is pre-recorded. I got a whole thing right now. But to be nominated for this award, seriously, and sitting here doing this video, imagining a near future where you might be watching it, is crazy. I'm getting my own haunted house statue. That's so cool. But I'm still a debut novelist riddled with imposter syndrome, so I'm not sitting here congratulating myself for being the best new writer on the block. I read all the books in the preliminary list in this category, and I read a lot of debut novels that didn't make the list. And I can tell you that there are so many talented new horror writers out there. And to be recognized as one of them is enough for me. It makes me think about a blog I read by Tim Wagner about what it means to win an award in writing. And he said something that resonated with me. That winning a writing award just means that a particular group of people chose to honor a particular work at a particular point in time for a particular reason. And that's enough for me. The Fourth Horror was written during a particular time in my life that was chaos. I was going through a lot of emotional and political upheaval in my life. And I had to funnel a lot of that rage and frustration and uncertainty into my book. And there is a little bit of my soul on every page. And a lot of horror that isn't for everyone. In fact, we almost included a trigger warning. So knowing all that and still being here really means a lot to me. And I have a lot of people to thank for that. Raw Dog Screaming Press. Thank you. Thank you for taking a chance on me. Thank you for teaching me the publishing aspect of writing. All been so wonderful. My friend Lee Murray, who has supported me from literally day one, where I walked into my first Stoker and signed up to read some horrible amateur short story I wrote. And she and Jennifer from Raw Dog sat the whole time and listened and encouraged and congratulated me at the end. And I will never forget that day. And you will both be in my hearts forever. My professors, my crit partners, fellow students at Seton Hill, thank you for getting me from amateur noob to published award-winning noob. It was a lot of work, but it was fun doing it with you. Thank you to my friend and mentor, Mike Arnzen, who found my little writing blog, pointed me in all the right directions, and has cheered me on from there to here. My friends, my family, a special shout out to my best friend Kim, who probably quite literally had to carry me through some of the darkest moments while writing this, but she also carried my pen. So when I was ready to write again, it was ready for me. My husband Matt, who came in on the final draft and taught me that even the most horrific horror stories can have hope at the end. and he's been my guiding light ever since. And also my bartender. So, last but not least, to all of you at the HWA, cheers. You opened your arms and welcomed me into your family, and for that, I am forever grateful.
Hi, this is John Palisano, president of the HWA, and we are giving the Silver Hammer Award away this year. The Silver Hammer Award is this. The HWA periodically gives the Silver Hammer Award to an HWA volunteer who has done a truly massive amount of work for the organization, often unsung and behind the scenes. It was instituted in 1996 and is decided by a vote of HWA's great board of trustees. The award is so named because it represents the careful, steady, continuous work of building HWA's house, the many institutional systems that keep the organization functioning on a day-to-day basis. The award itself is a hammer with an engraved plaque on the handle. The hammer is also a satisfying allusion to the Beatles song, Maxwell's Silver Hammer. That's a miniature horror story in itself. This year, the board is elected to award 2 exceptional members for their outstanding work, Karina Bissett and Brian W. Matthews. Karina Bissett has worked extensively in Colorado to bring a new life to the Colorado Springs chapter and has been a tireless supporter of our members. In addition, she's taken on the responsibility of heading up our HWA membership committee and has done a truly outstanding job. Brian W. Matthews has risen to the occasion not once, not twice, but 3 times as a co-chair of our Stoker Cons. First in Grand Rapids, and now for both the virtual and in-person conventions celebrating Denver. He has served on the Lifetime Achievement Award Committee, currently served as a jurist for the Bram Stoker Awards, and for the past several years has organized and run the pitch sessions for StokerCon. In addition to his role as convention co-chair, he also serves as the Bram Stoker Awards show coordinator. We would not have been anywhere near successful without him. On a personal note, Brian and Karina, you both inspire me constantly. I think what you have both accomplished has been just amazing. And I am so grateful for both of you for your tireless work and for your passion and for everything that you bring to the HWA and for our members. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to give you this award.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karina Bissett. I wish we were all together in person, but I'm glad we're here together virtually. I just want to say thank you to everyone. I'm always a little stumbly when it comes to these things, and it doesn't matter how many times I try to do it. I'm honored to receive the Silver Hammer Award. I don't know that I've ever won an award, so it's really fun and flattering. I won the HWA scholarship back in 2016, and ever since then, HWA has been an integral part of my life. And I want to thank all of you, actually, everyone in HWA who has helped me so much along the way. I've learned a lot from everyone in this organization, and it's really a privilege to be a part of it. So thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I want to thank you for being here and hope you're enjoying your first virtual StokerCon. A lot of people volunteered their time and their skills to put this event together. Let's give them a virtual round of applause. Now, this award, this hammer, is one of many that have been used to create the foundations upon which the Horror Writers Association was built. Now, the foundations weren't built of wood or nail or brick or mortar. No, they were created from something stronger. They were created from a shared love of a craft, of a genre, and of the people who care deeply about what horror represents. It's April 2019, about a month before the Grand Rapids StokerCon. Now, running a convention for a few hundred of your friends and colleagues can be intimidating, and eventually it can take a bit of a toll. I'd run into a roadblock, one of many that can come up as the start date approaches. Linda Addison edited our anthology at that year, and she and I were emailing back and forth about some aspect of the book when I had a minor meltdown about the roadblock. Now, the roadblock didn't last long. I sent out an SOS and somebody stepped up and the roadblock vanished. I mentioned to Linda how great it was that the HWA family had everybody's backs. Linda, so adept at getting right to the point, said, "Brian, honey, we're not a family. We're a fellowship." I wondered what she meant. How is a fellowship better than a family? Then it came to me. Families can be strong, but much of the time they're bound by blood. We, the members of the HWA and the horror community in general, choose to be with one another, to help one another, to support one another. We cheer at the successes, for when one wins, we all win. We share the pain of rejections because we've all been there. But we never stop. We never give up. We prop up one another, point to the road ahead, and say, "Come on, let's go. We got this." Similar to Tolkien's Band of Heroes, when we work together, we can accomplish anything. That's really what this represents. Not the effort of one or two people. This represents the efforts of everyone who takes a moment to help a fellow writer, to send out that word of encouragement, or stuff a swag bag, or work a convention, or serve as an officer or trustee, or better yet, to mentor a new writer. The Silver Hammer Award represents the heart of the HWA, the foundation upon which our successes are built. I accept this award in the name of all of you watching, because with you, we are all made better. Thank you.
Hi, Linda Addison, back with you again. I'm here to announce the recipient for Superior Achievement in Long Fiction is Stephen Graham Jones, Night of the Mannequins, Tour.com. Congratulations.
This is the second one of these I'm recording, and no way do I win two. No way do I win one. So I can say anything I want, you know? I can say the exact same thing I said the first time, and I don't have to worry about it being up on this screen twice. But thank you, everybody. I have to believe that if Night of the Mannequins pulled ahead by 1/8 of one vote, which is probably all I could have done in this kind of on this kind of final ballot, that it was because of mannequins, you know. Thank you to Ellen Datlow for prompting me to write this book. Thank you to everybody at Tor.com for pushing this book all around everywhere. Thank you to people for reading novellas. I'm so glad the novella is coming back. Or I'm not coming back, it's been back for a few years now, it feels like. It thrills me. Couldn't be happier that these short little skinny books are circulating again. Here's to many more years of it. Thank you.
Hi, JG Faraday here again. It's really an honor for me to present the award for superior achievement in a fiction collection because I got my start in this business writing short fiction, and I love to read short fiction, and collections of short fiction are my favorite books. So it gives me great pleasure to present this award to my friend Lee Murray. Grotesque Monster Stories, published by Things in the Well.
Hello everyone. If you're seeing this video, then it means that Grotesque Monster Stories has won the award for fiction collection. Oh my gosh. Well, in reality, I'd probably be crying or screaming. But if it has won the award, then it isn't about me. It is instead a kind acknowledgement of the willingness amongst my HWA friends and colleagues to cross the ocean and explore a little bit of Kiwi fiction, and just to try out some New Zealand monsters for a change. And I'd like to thank you all very much for doing that. I have to blow some kisses to people who've helped me, and there are quite a lot of them. So here we go. To Steve Dillon from Things in the Well for commissioning the collection. Thank you very much, Steve, for believing in me. It gave me a lot of confidence. Thank you to Greg Chapman for the gorgeous cover art, and to David Wood for his lovely foreword. So kind. To my beta readers, Linda, Piper, Simon, Eileen, Alicia, Kevin, Celine, and also Rock Testament, who's the real Tane McKenna. Thank you all so much for making my work so shiny. To the literary bigwigs who endorsed the work and told me that it didn't suck too much. People like Jonathan Mayberry and Linda Addison, Rena Mason, Tom Deedy and Aaron Stearns. Thank you all so much. It means so much to me. I'd like to thank the original editors who commissioned the work, and I'm probably going to forget who they are, but Random Static and Outland Entertainment and IFWG, Grimdark Magazine. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. I also like to thank the reviewers, the readers, the voters, the Stoker jury, and especially the committee for all their hard work. And finally, I also need to acknowledge the other works on the ballot. I suspect one of you are likely to be doing the speech and no one's going to see this little clip of video. But if by some miracle you are, then I'd like to thank John and Kathy and Anna and Patricia for your amazing collections. I've read them all and they're just amazing. So well done. And I'm so honoured to have been on the ballot with you. And finally, I need to thank my darling, David, my monster slayer. I just wouldn't be writing without him. He's always in my corner and he doesn't even read. So Thank you to everyone for letting this little Kiwi fly. Thank you.
I'm back. So I'm back to present another award, and it's for a favorite category of mine. I am a short story junkie, and anthologies are basically like crack to me. So, and I devoured everything on this list this year, and there was not a weak spot on that list. So the winner is winning in a strong field again, and that's just wonderful. It is my honor and pleasure to present the Stoker Award for Superior Achievement in an Anthology to Lee Murray and Genevieve Flynn for Black Cranes, Tales of Unquiet Women, Omnium Gatherum Medium. Congratulations.
Hi, everyone. I'm Genevieve Flynn, and I'm very excited and a little bit nervous to be doing this video. Black Cranes and other publications like it, written by and centering diverse voices, are leading readers and writers in new directions. I'm so honored and excited to be part of this conversation. Thank you to the marvelous writing community, to the mentors, the enthusiastic readers, the editors, and the unquiet writers who push the boundaries of what's possible. Thank you to the Horror Writers Association for celebrating work that's brave and unflinching. I think maybe that's why horror writers are some of the nicest people. We see the world for what it is, and we still get up and face it every day. Thank you, Lee, for taking a chance on this little writer and editor. Just meeting you that day at GenreCon was thrill enough, never mind getting the chance to work with you. It's been a genuine pleasure. Thank you to our publisher, Kate Jones at Omnium Gatherum, for seeing the potential in our off-the-cuff idea and letting us run with it. Thank you to the very talented Greg Chapman for your gorgeous cover art. Alma Katsu, thank you for your furious and heartfelt foreword. It scared me a little when I first read it because it seemed too much, too forthright, but you knew exactly what you were doing. To our authors, Nadia Bulkin, Grace Chan, Rin Chapico, Elaine Kuye-King, Gabriella Lee, Rena Mason, Angela Elrico Smith, and Christina Singh, the Sisterhood of the Crane. Thank you for your faith and for sharing your powerful stories with us. We couldn't have done it without you. Lastly, thank you to my husband, Owen, for always believing in me, and for my mother, Rosalind, who forged her own path and learned how to be unquiet. That's me done.
Thank you, Genevieve, for being the perfect conscientious Asian girl and preparing a speech, which I have not done. But if it were not for the fact that we are both conscientious little Asian girls, we would not have this anthology, which basically came out of the two of us turning up way too early for a panel and getting talking. And this is the book that spawned from that discussion. So an important work about marginalized voices and otherness. And I'm so proud of this little work of our contributors, the impassioned, furious stories that they sent us, beautiful writing, brutal stories. Alma's forward. I'd like to thank Kate again for stepping up and providing us a venue, Greg for his beautiful cover. I'd also like to acknowledge the reviewers and our the other people on the category, Doug and Michael, Sarah, Mercedes, and also Samantha for their beautiful anthologies. It is an honour to appear on this ballot with you. Just to stand alongside those anthologies is an incredible honour. So thank you too for your fabulous work and the books that you've curated. They're marvellous. I'd also like to thank my husband Dave, who basically supports me financially. I couldn't do any of the work I do without him, and my mum Pauline, whose stories and her quietness and her power have really inspired my stories in this work. So I'm very grateful to them both for their support. And finally to you, Genevieve, who's just my little star, and I'm just so privileged to have worked with you. And if people are actually watching this video, then we must have brought home a little house. So I'm just if this is reality, I will be crying. I will not be smiling. So thank you for your work with me. You were really an inspiration for me this year, and you helped me so much. I lost my dad in New Zealand's lockdown, and you picked up the pieces, and I'm so grateful. This work would not be what it is without your hand in it. So thank you to you, and thank you to everybody for your support of Black Cranes, Tales of Unquiet Women. We couldn't be happier.
The Lifetime Achievement Award is presented periodically to an individual or individuals whose work has substantially influenced the horror genre. While this award is often presented to a writer, it may also be given for influential accomplishments in other creative fields. This year, the HWA is awarding 3 Lifetime Achievement Awards. The first goes to Carol Clover. Carol Clover is a professor emerita of medieval studies and American film at the University of California, Berkeley. While much of her scholarship has concerned medieval Icelandic culture, her 1992 book, Men, Women, and Chainsaws: Gender in the Modern Horror Film, was a seminal work in the serious study of contemporary horror cinema, and especially slasher films. She coined the term final girl and articulated a structural and gendered approach to understanding films such as Friday the 13th, Halloween, and similar horror cinema that has exhibited a profound effect not only on how scholars understand the genre, but also has entered the popular vocabulary and understanding of how to read these films. Congratulations to Carol on this prestigious award.
Hi. I want to say first, thank you so much for honoring me in my work. I really appreciate it. It has been a long road getting to this particular celebration, and I treasure your appreciation. Thank you to the participants in StokerCon, and thank you to the Horror Writers Association. When I wrote my first vampire story, I was just writing a story, and then it appeared in the Village Voice, and I gave it to my grandmother, who loved it. She was a great reader. She thought it was wonderful. So for my next birthday, she gave me a copy of an annotated version of Dracula. And it was so amazing. I couldn't believe she had tracked this down. It was a secondhand edition. I still have it. And she was very excited that I had started on this path. And I said, well, Nana, you know, my vampire stories aren't going to be very traditional. And she said, oh, I figured that. But you'll learn a whole lot. So she was right. I did. I really came to understand what it took to create the world in which vampires could live. I understood the ground out of which the vampire culture grew, so to speak. And I also, Bram Stoker's writing and the quality of the story made me understand that I could revisit the mythology that had been created by so many and reimagine that mythology so that it represented the things and the people I wanted to talk about. And that was very, very valuable for me. I wrote, 8 or so stories, and I asked Audre Lorde, who was a poet and my mentor, to read them. She said, I'm not so much into short stories and I'm not so much into vampires. But she read it. She was really supportive. I mean, amazingly supportive, and suggested that I turn it into a novel. And it was really more than a suggestion. So I got busy. I realized, of course, she's right. I worked on it for a while, and I started sending it out to publishers, and none of the commercial publishers of speculative fiction were interested in the Gilda stories. So my favorite rejection, though, was, well, the character's too complicated. She's black, she's a lesbian, she's an escaped slave, she's a vampire. That's too complicated. And I realized then that was not going to be the world that was going to support me. Fortunately, Nancy Bariano, who founded Firebrand Books, a lesbian feminist press, embraced the Gilda stories and published it and distributed it for a good number of years before City Lights Books in San Francisco picked it up so that it could publish the 30th year anniversary edition. And so I've been fortunate in my experience with vampires in general and with the Gilda stories in particular. And I find so much in the mythology that I continue to write vampire stories, and I'm working on a sequel to that novel. I'm also excited that Cheryl Dunye, who directed some episodes of Lovecraft Country, recently optioned the novel for a television miniseries. So I'm really looking forward to that. And hopefully the next time I see you, it'll be in person and I can get to talk about that as well. I have had such good fortune. I love when people at readings or when I go into classes to talk about speculative fiction and horror, they ask me, well, why don't you write a story about my hometown? Or why don't you write a story about the year I was born? And I take notes for everything. I keep them in a folder, and maybe someday I will. So I'm really, really, again, honored by your appreciation of my work and hope that we get to see each other in person. Thank you.
I was overwhelmed to learn that I'd been chosen for this, the most prestigious HWA award possible. First and foremost, my utmost thanks to the person who has contributed most significantly to my achievements, my husband, Bruce Boston, whose own body of work in dark poetry and fiction deserves this Lifetime Achievement Award as much as mine, and maybe more. I've been especially fortunate to have him as my mentor over the years. And I'd like to thank my co-chair of the HWA Cookbook, Bob Kabine, for keeping me focused. Karina Bissett, David Cowan, Angela Elrico Smith for aiding the scholarship committee, and a plethora of other jobs. My gratitude also to Kathy Patasek for championing my HWA Dark Poets column, which, as you know, is Blood and Spades, and just for being a good friend along the way. Of course, thanks for support from my fellow trustee board members. You guys are all amazing. And how could I forget you, Lisa Morton? You've been giving me aid and advice along the way, too. I've been an HWA member since the late 90s. Early on, I attended a lot of general conventions, the main ones like World Horror, World SF, and World Fantasy. Now, when I was ready to join up, I chose the Horror Writers Association. Why? Because those that I met were my kind of people. You know, friendly, talented, and unpretentious sorts. Supportive if another member hit the hard times or needed medical help and such. I believe y'all are still the same, old and new members alike. My thanks and hugs to all fellow members who have become special friends over the years. Too many to mention, really, but you know who you are. Finally, a special thank you to John Palisano, our president, for his kindness and support.
Okay, so there's 1 in a million, and then there's 1 in a billion. Becky Spratford is that rare human being, made up of equal parts passion, chutzpah, wisdom, and a gift for rallying people and creating the impossible out of what seems to be thin air. She's brought librarians full steam ahead into the HWA. With the creation of Librarians Day several years ago, the HWA finally had an amazing and tangible reason for librarians to attend StokerCon. Not only that, but a big goal of the HWA is to grow our relationships with librarians and libraries across the world. She's also headed up our amazing Summer Scares program, which has reached so many readers, authors, and librarians. She's also a member of our board of trustees and as our secretary, and has pitched in on so many discussions, making connections, bringing perspectives and wisdom above and beyond the call of duty. Last year, I tried to give Becky the President's Award, and she convinced me to wait a year. I'm so happy to award it to her this year. That above mentioned going above and beyond? The culture of the HWA has been forever changed for the better through her hard work, her champion, her insistence that things be done differently and better, and that the HWA live up to its potential as a place where we are championing great works by diverse voices and spreading the good word. Becky, it's my honor to work alongside you. You inspire me daily. Thank you so much for all you do, not only for the HWA, but for authors, readers, librarians, and so many others every single day. Thank you so much. And congratulations.
I am very honored to be awarded the Richard Layman President's Award from a man I respect so much, John Palisano. In my work on Summer Scares for the Horror Writers Association, I am usually the one giving others this type of recognition, and well, I'm not sure how to react now that the roles are reversed. The work I have done to grow the HWA's outreach to libraries, including recruiting library workers to join the organization, growing the reach and scope of Librarians Day, and coordinating the Summer Scares reading program, has given me some of the greatest professional satisfaction of my life. I have also had a lot of fun amidst all the work and made some lifelong friends along the way. Connecting libraries with horror books and authors is fulfilling, but seeing how well both the library workers and authors have taken to each other, well, that has been inspiring. I am proud to serve the HWA in this way in the past, present, and am excited to keep doing so moving forward into the future. I am humbled to be recognized for all of this, and I thank you very much.
Hi, this is John Palisano, president of the HWA, and the winner of Superior Achievement in Short Fiction goes to Josh Mallerman for One Last Transformation. Congratulations to you, Josh, and to all of our amazing nominees.
A Stoker Award. Now this is exciting. We all know that just because my story won doesn't mean it's any better than Megan's or Kurt's or Cindy's or Kyla Lee Ward's. Still, it feels good to get one. To me, it's always been like, indicates that you're part of an era, part of a moment in time, definitely part of a year. I think anyone that knows me knows that if this was official and really happening in real time, that I would have leapt up from my seat, ran to the front of the house, maybe strutted, maybe it was something a little cooler than running, and I would have bought everyone in attendance a drink. Nelson, Ryan Lewis, Wayne Alexander, the HWA, President Palisano, and Allison. Thank you, Doug Morano and Michael Bailey, for editing One Last Transformation. You know, it hasn't got past me that the one I'm winning with, it's a straight ball or a fastball down the middle. It's a werewolf story, rather than some of the more elastic stuff, like some of the more elastic stuff. It's a little harder to classify. Remember, kids, full moon means you gotta decide. Scott Adelman, you now remain the Susan Lucci of horror. all on your own.
In the spirit of a Josh Mallerman acceptance speech, I will also show off my musical talent by announcing the winner while drumming on a human skull. The Stoker goes to Lee Winnell, the Invisible Man. We accept this on HWA accepts this on his behalf.
Hello, I'm going to get right to it. The recipient for Superior Achievement in a Novel is Stephen Graham Jones, The Only Good Indians, by Gallery Saga Press. Congratulations.
Wow. First, I wish we were all in a banquet hall together. This is the only banquet of the whole year that I like to go to. It's not about the food, although I'm sure the food would have been great. It's because this is where all my friends are, you know? This is where I want it to last and last. I couldn't be more surprised at this. When I saw the final ballot, number one, I thought, lucky to be there, dude. Number two, I thought, oh, well, he made the final ballot because look at those other books, you know? It could have been any of these books, I guess is what I'm saying. Any of these writers. Thank you to the voters who voted any direction, you know? Thank you for participating. Thank you for reading. Thank you for the judging selection committees that keep it all straight. Thank you for all the administration that goes on with this. Thank you in advance for the cool castle. I like that little castle. What can I say? I can't say anything. I'm just honestly surprised and very honored. Thank you for letting an elk-headed woman hang out with you for 4 or 6 hours. That means everything to me. But wait, I'm not done. I need to thank in the order of, I guess in the order they got to it. How's that? B.J. Robbins, when I wrote this, it was a novella. It was The House That Ran Red. I texted her and I said, do I stop it here or do you want me to turn it into a novel? And she said, hey, make it a novel. They're easier to sell. So I did. And it turned out all right. Then she ran into Joe Monte, editor at Saga, at some dinner or panel, something like that. And he liked the book enough to pick it up, and he sculpted it into what it is now, because this isn't all me. I'm lucky enough to work with people who are capable and talented and want things to work, you know? My only real trick I have is I listen to them sometimes. Then Joe gave it to Lauren Jackson, star publicist, and she got it into everywhere. Without Lauren telling the world about this book, nobody knows about it. And again, thank y'all for reading it. It means the world.
Well, that was great. I mean, we had so many wonderful awards and a packed ballot of really exceptional works, and I couldn't be happier. So yay for us, and yay for you for buying and reading this stuff, and yay for everyone else who wrote it. And yeah, I'm pretty jazzed. John?
Yeah, amazing. I really think it was an amazing awards season and presentation. I do have some people I wanted to thank. First of all, I want to thank all of our presenters tonight. I'd like to thank you, Jonathan, for emceeing for us. Thank you so much. I would not like to thank Megan's Power Company for giving us all a heart attack.
I don't know. The mood lighting was kind of interesting, though. You know, I do like that. You know, the somber, creepy tone to it. You know,
definitely.
If it were any other award show, it would be horrible. But it kind of works for the horror writers, so it's all right.
Yeah, it's very daunting. Some of us are trying to get that lighting, so. I want to give a big shout out to our Stoker Awards sponsor, Tor Nightfire, who have been just amazing, and I hope you all have gotten a chance to enter their giveaway. I want to thank the jury chairs, our jurors, our verifiers, and our compiler. I want to thank James Chamber and Jess Landry, our Bram Stoker Awards committee co-chairs. I want to thank Brian Matthews, who's our Bram Stoker Awards convention organizer. Brad Hudson, our tireless administrator. Angel Leigh McCoy, our webmaster, who makes everything run. I want to give a big shout out to Lou Rera, who made the amazing animations you saw tonight. Wow. Okay. Wow. Our members who read, recommended, and voted on the awards. Very important. And are we going to announce our guests of honor now for next year? Are we ready for that?
Yes.
Okay. I do want to take the time now to introduce a couple of our guests of honor that we have coming for next year. We have Ernest Dickerson. Yay! It's weird without the applause. You're waiting for the applause. Gemma Files. Yay! Brian Keene. Yay! John Edward Lawson. Yay! And Cherie Renee Thomas. Yay! I want everybody also to tune in tomorrow during closing ceremonies, because we're going to have some updates on StokerCon 22 in person in Denver at the Curtis Hotel next May. Also, a great update from our sister convention, ChillerCon in the UK, which is happening in March of next year. So with that being said, what an incredible night. Megan, do you have anything to add?
No, this was wonderful. Again, sorry about the power, but it was so great to see everyone. Such a good night for horror. These categories were packed full of excellent works, so it was exciting to see.
Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to end on a really fun note. Apparently, all the virtual bars are open. So just like every good con, let's all go to the bar. See you there. Cheers.
Cheers.